right on the border between Nevada and California, of course, because that's the area that I live in. And this sign here only has one little sticker on it. It's kind of in a remote area. I was feeling a little bit chilly, so I decided to start a little fire. This morning we're heading up to Carson Sink to see what kind of wildlife we can see up there. Carson Sink is just south of Fallon, Nevada. Now Fallon, Nevada is where the Naval Air Station is located. If you remember years back, the movie Top Gun with the Navy fighter pilot training, well, this is where the Top Gun Center is, at Fallon. I think if I lived close to this irrigation canal, I definitely would break out the ice skates. This looks like it'd be a great little frozen ditch to ice skate on once the ice gets deep enough. I'm not recommending anyone do that, but it is one of those kind of places that you could ice skate. Hello everybody. Today Kelly and I are heading up to the Fallon area, and we're going to do some exploring, see if we can find some wildlife. We're going to go into town too and some other places. Should be a good time. We make this right-hand turn, junction of 120 off of Highway 95, 120 Nevada, to make this right. Those look to be snow geese from here. A lot of farming out here. It's like a layer of low-lying fog. Got a lot of cattle handling facilities in here. We're coming up on a big dome. That big dome is a facility located on the Air Force Base. I'm not exactly positive what that is, but I think it's probably a radar dome for air traffic control is what I'm thinking, tracking airplanes and so forth, since it is a naval air station. There's the Naval Air Station. I can hear a jet or some type of an engine. We're just heading along the base perimeter, and we're going to go over to Soda Lake. So we'll be passing through Fallon. Didn't want to film too much of the particulars on the base. I thought this intersection was more interesting than the main gate of the base. Check out all these advertisements for all the airmen that they have. Look at all these ads of all the places that the servicemen can go. Different pubs and getting your tattoos, places for rent. It's just on the side of the road where you have to stop and make that turn. I've got the Chinese restaurant over here too. It's a great spot for all this advertisement because it's a busy intersection. It says Dairy Farmers of America. We're heading west on US 50 through Fallon. This is the main commercial district for shopping and a lot of different stores in here. We're heading just a few miles west out of downtown. We're making a right. So Kelly, these lots look like they've got maybe an acre or so with them. Is that pretty common for the area, for Fallon?
Yeah, outside of town it is.
Look at all the geese flying above Soda Lake. Today there's a sign over here about Soda Lake. We're going to see what it says. Okay, here we have the Soda Lake Conservation Resource Area, Churchill County Parks and Recreation. There's so much graffiti though, I can't even hardly read these signs. But I noticed one of the signs here that Kelly pointed out is talking about not spreading noxious weeds on your off-road vehicles and different things. It's got the different weeds listed here. It's too bad it got tagged like that, because it's not really like artwork tag or anything. It's just, I can't hardly read the sign anymore. Looks like Soda Lake is just on the other side of this berm. We're getting a good walk in up to Soda Lake. This is Soda Lake. It doesn't appear to have an outlet. There are some water birds, but not very many. And it's got a very steep frost-covered bank on this side. We're gonna go down here, see what we can find. Looks like there's another sign. You know, it just doesn't look like this has an outlet anywhere. And I would be surprised if it has fish in here. That's a light frost on the eroded bank. There's some little ducks. Here's another sign here. I thought it would tell us more about Soda Lake, but it's talking about the weeds again, talking about the Canada thistle, the perennial pepperweed, the puncture vine. Those are really bad. I get a lot of flat tires on my bicycle with the puncture vine. They call it goat's head. Has a little yellow flower, and the yellow star thistle. But look at all the broken glass. It's amazing how much broken glass is here. And you can see all that. I can hear the jets at the Fallon Naval Air Station in the distance. Here's the shoreline. Put my hand in here. Has a little four-wheeler trail along the shoreline. I can see where people have been walking their dogs and along the shoreline here. It's actually very pleasant, irregardless of all the trash we saw up by the road. Really pleasant day for the winter time. It's cool, but it's not cold. There's Kelly. What do you think of this Soda Lake, Kelly?
Well, it's interesting.
It is interesting. Look at that ravine, Kelly.
Yeah, it's huge.
And it's just a lot of erosion. I think it's completely sand, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just very sandy out here.
So Kelly, remember when we came up here the last time I brought you up to your dental appointment?
Yeah.
And we stopped in at the Courtyard Cafe and Bakery. It's right across on the intersection of Main Street, Old Main Street, and US 50. I think the courthouse is across the street from it too, I believe.
It is.
And we had just a fantastic lunch. I'd eaten there before. And if you're ever in Fallon, you know, I like to support the local businesses. This place was excellent, isn't it? It has basically homemade food and like homemade pies. I mean, really homemade stuff. And the prices are affordable prices too. And the service is excellent. So I highly recommend if you're traveling through Fallon, stop in there and give them a try. It's a nice little downtown, isn't it?
Yeah, it's cute.
Fallon, Nevada. Still have some leaves on the trees. So Kellie was saying that people used to live in the upper floors and have the business in the lower floor. There's that Courtyard Cafe and Bakery right across the street on the intersection of Main and Highway 50. That was just a really great place for lunch, wasn't it?
Yes.
Well, I'm finishing up on my lunch special, which was prime rib beef, and you can see the size of the portion in the salad. This homemade pecan pie they heated it up. You can see the size of it. All the portions here are extra large. This is a nice big park that Fallon, Nevada has, and they have a really nice stage over here. Look at this.
Yeah, look at that stage.
Form some music out here at the park, right?
Right, yeah, it's like the one that you did in Cody, Wyoming.
Yeah, but we're in Fallon, Nevada. We are at the Churchill County, Nevada Museum. Look at that beautiful glass, Kellie. It's such a nice purple tone, isn't that? It's like a lavender color.
It's beautiful.
Purple glass, 1880 to 1914. The Churchill County Museum is a lot larger and more extensive than our museum is in Hawthorne. But of course, it's a bigger town. Here's a display of horse tack and shaps from the past. Here's all the saddle makers' tools and display about the dairy industry and farming in the Fallon area. We've got a beekeeper there. Marilyn from the Churchill County Museum in Fallon, Nevada, has done a little bit of research that she wants to share with us about Soda Lake. Hi Marilyn, what did you find?
Hey, so found lots of information about Soda Lake. It's actually, for those who don't know,
Right.
Soda Lake is located about 5 miles northwest of Fallon.
Okay.
There are 2 lakes out there. It's the Big Soda Lake and the Little Soda Lake. They're what is called Mars, which is volcanic craters that are made when volcanic gas is close to the ground surface and it shoots up and explodes material out of the ground.
So they're volcanic in origin?
Yeah.
Okay.
And they create
Craters.
Craters.
Right.
If I can talk.
Yeah.
And so they do various sizes, hence the reason we have Big Soda Lake and Little Soda Lake.
Right.
Now these craters are estimated to have been formed about 800,000 years ago.
Okay.
So they're super old.
Right.
And the first exploration and claims on Soda Lake that we can find happened around 1855.
Okay.
And that is where most of the soda production that was done during that period was produced.
What did they use that soda for? Did they make actual like soda pop to drink, or what did they use the soda for?
It's more soda bicarbonate, soda chloride, soda sodium sulfate. So it was more like baking soda.
Oh, okay.
And other stuff like that. So it's not soda as in the pop, but more household use or just everyday use. So this is a picture of the Soda Lake plant that I was mentioning earlier. The date of this picture is in the year 1869. And what's funny is there's actually a soda factory that is sunk at the bottom of Soda Lake.
There's a soda factory at the bottom of the lake. Now,
Yeah.
how deep is that in the lake? It didn't look like it was very deep.
Well, it actually is about 35 deep underneath.
35 feet deep?
35 feet deep underneath the surface. What happened was,
okay.
When the irrigation started with the Newlands
Right.
in 1901,
Okay.
groundwater started percolating and rising. So what happened was the water level actually ended up rising as the irrigation kept going. So it ended up rising from its original depth of 147 feet to over 200 feet.
That's
by
odd.
1907.
Usually when you pump something out of water, the water level goes down, not up.
Well, it's groundwater, so it's just seepage.
Right.
So through seepage and all that, it just kind of went from one place to another. So this is a photo from 1924 after the water levels of the lake rose and covered the factory.
So Marilyn, you were telling me that this Soda Lake is a protected area.
Mm-hmm. It actually was underneath the protection of the Bureau of Reclamation, and then around mid-1980s, it was given back to BLM to be under their management, and they also co-worked with the Newlands Project or Truckee Carson Irrigation District to protect it. So this is a photo from the 1900s of a young boy standing on a pile of planks next to Soda Lake.
Marilyn was saying that Soda Lake actually has dual management.
Yeah, underneath the high water mark is actually under the management of the BLM.
Okay.
However, the shoreline and the surrounding countryside is actually under the management of the Truckee Carson Irrigation District, which was formerly known as the Newlands Project. So this is a photo of Walter Nygren around 1921 next to parts of the old soda factory.
It was nice to have a collaboration between the Churchill County Museum and the Mineral County Museum. Thank you so much, Marilyn.
Thank you. It was my pleasure.
We're heading east of town. We're going to head over to the Stillwater Wildlife Refuge. Heading down 116, very close to the Paiute Shoshone Indian Reservation. It's 12 miles from the turnoff. Well, the countryside really starts to open up once you get outside of Fallon. Get to the end of the road, but it's still paved, just a little bit smaller. Here we have the Stillwater Refuge information. I just heard a duck just a minute ago. Stillwater Marsh. Continuing a little farther down the road, I think we're just going to want to go straight. There are some restrooms out here. This alkali that's even collected on the surface of the ground. Here's a map of where we are. We're thinking about going over here to the viewing platform and maybe taking a little loop around the reserve. Look at the big cracks on the surface. Little rabbit. He's nibbling on the brush. See if I can walk by him. There's a very nice interpretive trail leading up to a large viewing platform. Here you can see the beautiful view from the observation platform at the Stillwater Lake. It's very peaceful and quiet out here. Listen how quiet it is out here. I'm very entertained with this comparison of birds and military aircraft. It says golden eagles can carry 21% of its weight, or about 3 pounds. It talks about how fast it closes in at 120 miles in a dive. And then it's talking about the F-18 Hornet is a multi-role strike fighter aircraft that makes up the majority of the Navy's aircraft today. So there's like similarities between the different types of birds. Thanks for joining us, everybody. Nice reflection on the water.